Hi, everybody. Welcome back to Coals of Fire. I'm Cheyenne,
And I'm Jared.
and we are the Coals. Basically, what we do on this YouTube channel is talk about everything from lifestyle to biblical perspectives as a Christian couple. And right now, we're going through a series on frugality. The reason why we thought frugality would be such a great topic is because right now, the economy is pretty crazy and inflation is also really high. And so we feel like it's something that is important for all of us to kind of hear about. How do you save money? How do you not spend too much money? And also, it's a great skill to also have for people who are Christians as well. So without further ado, today's topic is actually going to be on food and how to save on food for your family.
Yeah, so these are the tips for grocery shopping and whatnot. So first off on the list is buy in bulk. So that's items like rice, beans, pasta, oats, canned goods, frozen vegetables are often cheaper when bought in larger quantities.
Yeah, and if it's something that you really like to eat a lot of, like let's just say, your family uses a lot of flour or they use a lot of peanut butter, it might benefit you to buy those things in bulk, like, instead of, buying the smaller amounts, which individually are more money.
Right. The next tip is use discount or outlet stores. So check stores like Aldi, Lidl, or any local discount or bulk stores. They can offer significant savings on essentials.
We don't have a little near us. I didn't even know what that was, but apparently he said that there was a little here in Georgia closer to Atlanta. But we do have an Aldi's, and we do shop there. We actually will always go there first before we go to Walmart or Wally World. And then if there's something that I absolutely just know that I can't get at either one of those stores, maybe it's something like a Lactaid ice cream or sour cream, just something very specific, then I will go to somewhere like Publix or Kroger. But other than that, we always usually start off at Aldi for all of our groceries for food. Um, and then we will go after that to Walmart. And it saves us a lot of money.
It sure does. The next tip is cook at home. Preparing meals from scratch tends to be cheaper than buying prepackaged or processed foods. Cooking in batches can help save time too.
So, yeah, I mean, pretty much like Jared was saying, and by the way, guys, I didn't mention this at the beginning of the video, but I do have a background in nutrition dietetics, and I also do clinical health coaching. And a lot of what I'm talking about are tips that I share with people that I work with every day. And so you guys can know that a lot of these things have been proven, and we use them ourselves in our own household. So I feel like I am very qualified to talk about this topic and also very passionate about it. But yeah, going back to cooking at home. Not only is cooking at home cheaper, because we even know that, places like McDonald's now are getting a little pricey, pricier than they were before. But it's much healthier for you, right? You're not going to get all of those extra preservatives and sodium and whatever else ingredients that you have no idea what's in them. So not only does it save you more money to cook at home, but it's also a lot healthier. Usually what we do in our family is since I am basically the primary cook in our home, unless it's like a special occasion or holiday and Jared cooks or grills some meat for us, what I usually like to do is I will cook on Mondays. That's like my cooking day. And that food will carry us through the rest of the week until we hit, the weekend and the Sabbath. And usually we got to either go to my mother's home. But that saves us a lot of money. I usually, we have that one meal that we're eating throughout the week. And, we eat different stuff during the day, like small foods, whether it's like tea or sandwiches or whatever during the day, fruits. But at night, we usually will have whatever I have made in bulk, and it saves us a lot of money. Now, if you are not someone who wants to have the same meal every day of the week, maybe you might want to cook twice a week, right? But know what those days are, those cooking days are, and know what days are going to be your prepping days. Some people like to go as far as even putting their food in little containers and pre-portioning it out. I don't do that, but that is another way that you could do your batch cooking and prep things ahead of time.
It's a good point you made, because that leads into the next tip, which is meal planning. Plan meals around what's on sale that week. Creating a weekly meal plan and sticking to a shopping list helps avoid impulse buys.
So we are very, very good with this. What I actually have is a list in my phone of different meals that we can rotate through. And, these are, whether it's like Asian stir fry or whether it's like spaghetti, right? I'll have my running list of different meals that we can eat as a family. And I'll say, hey, Jared, what are you in the mood for? And he'll choose one of those meals for the week. And we will put exactly what we need for that meal on our shopping list, of course, along with all of the other go-tos that we usually also have, which is like, like eggs, peanut butter, things like that, fruit. Yeah, just the go-tos. But having that list makes, one, our shopping so much easier because we're in and we're out. We get what we need. But two, we're also saving money because like it said, it does help you with impulse buying. You don't just go, oh, you know what? I'm in the mood for this today. Let me go grab that, right? So that saves us a lot of money, is staying very strict with that. What I like to use is the reminder app on the iPhone. And what I really like about that app is that you could, make your list, and then there's a little bubble that you click on the left-hand side. And once you've already, put that in your cart, you could click the bubble and it disappears. Very simple, very easy. As I'm going throughout the week, because the reminder list is already in my phone, I can go ahead and add things on there so that, I can remember it when it comes time for us to go shopping. So that definitely is helpful, having a shopping list.
And the next tip is look for store brands. Many store brands offer quality products for a fraction of the price of national brands.
Oh my goodness. He's so right? Just for example, Equate at Walmart, right? There are certain things, right, that maybe you're a stickler for. Like maybe if it's something that's like, I don't know, vanilla wafers. I'm very like, no, I want the actual vanilla wafer. Or if it's Oreos, I want the actual Oreo because I like the taste of it, right? And I can understand that, right? But there's things that you can buy that store-bought version, like noodles, like rice.
Granola.
Granola, right? And it's not going to taste any different than it would be if you were to buy those other brands, but you're actually saving so much more money. So check those store brands, guys, because those great value brands at Walmart or anywhere else, because they can save you money and it all adds up.
Right. So the next tip is to embrace meatless meals. Try making a few vegetarian meals each week with lentils, beans, or tofu, which are often cheaper protein options. That's a good one.
Oh my goodness.
That protein is, as much as we like it, it can get expensive depending on what you're making. So just be mindful of that. Try to do some vegetarian options. It'll help cheapen the shopping experience.
So what's so funny is we eat primarily plant-based anyways in our home, aside from organic eggs that we use, like for baking and things like that. But primarily, I will eat plant-based. And the thing is what's so funny is not only is it healthier for you, right? A lot of people have in their mind that eating more plant-based foods and things like that is so much more expensive. No, it is not. those plant-based proteins like beans and nuts and, like he said, tofu and, you know, your nut butters and things like that, hummus, all of that stuff is great sources of protein, but way healthier, because unless you're getting like organic meat that's grass-fed, okay, from the store, that doesn't have all of those disgusting antibiotics injected in it and all of those drugs that they put in meat nowadays, right, which then causes so many other issues in, you know, us as humans, and then we wonder why we have so many people with these diseases popping up. Unless you're getting organic grass-fed meat, okay, meat nowadays is not very healthy. This is why you see a lot of diseases like you know, the chicken flu and, you know, mad cow's disease and more listeria, all of these diseases popping up. That's because of what the quality of meat and what these animals are going through, you know, in these small locked in spaces on these you know, commercial farms, in order for them to survive and not, you know, have mass disease because they're being mass produced. These farmers have to inject them with so many drugs and put so many hormones, right? And so hypothetically, unless you're getting organic or grass-fed meat with your meals, which is extremely expensive, right? And then if you have a family of 4 or more, now we're talking a lot of money, and you want it to last you all week. Meat is not going to be healthier for you, nor is it going to be more cost effective. I know I went on a rant with that, guys, but I'm very serious about that. Most of our diseases anyways, or heart disease or things like that, come from people who eat too much saturated fat. And guess what? When you eat your plant-based proteins, they have less saturated fat. So just keep that in mind. It's a win-win.
Yeah, and there are also creative ways to make alternatives to meat protein as far as like your meals. Like what I actually started doing whenever we have spaghetti or tacos or burritos, we've decided to get walnuts, and that could be an alternative to ground beef. And what you can do is get walnuts and then soak them in water for about 2 days, drain the water, put them in a blender, blend them, and then that's your ground beef. And you just season it like you would do any other type of meat. Just put either your taco seasoning if you're making tacos or burritos, or you can put any other seasoning that you would put for like ground beef or spaghetti, and then just taste it as you season it, just to see if you can see what type of taste you're looking for. You can get it. And then also, there's also alternatives for chicken. There's other recipes that we haven't tried yet, but that we would like to try later on in the future. But they will require like different types of mushrooms. So they have enoki mushrooms and oyster mushrooms.
And we do mushroom sandwiches, which taste good,
Yeah,
like a chicken sandwich.
Yeah, but specifically for chicken, like I've seen recipes that look really good where people, you do like a chicken gyro, and they'll use an oyster mushroom as an alternative to chicken, or enoki mushrooms, and you'll just use that. And then I think I've seen people use oxtails instead of the oxtail meat. They would use, I think, lion's mane. That's another option too. It's just a matter of trying to find it. I know it's kind of hard for us. I don't think it was easy for us to find those. We haven't even been able to find it, to be honest, but those are alternatives that
well, we haven't tried.
Yeah, we haven't tried.
But yeah, he's totally right. There are ways around it. It's all about texture and seasoning. So if you know how to season right, you know, you can get a very delicious, you know, meat textured plant-based protein that you're not buying from the store, okay? Because we don't agree with those vegan plant-based meats that are really expensive but filled with sodium preservatives. We're talking about creating your own things like bean burgers and things like that. But if you know how to season those things right, they can taste very good and have a lot less saturated fat.
Right. It just takes some research to look into it. And so the next tip is use frozen produce. Frozen fruits and veggies are generally cheaper and have a longer shelf life. They're often just as nutritious as fresh ones too. And Cheyenne really rants and raves about the frozen produce as an alternative.
Oh yeah, because
especially with the smoothie bowls. It makes a good smoothie bowl.
Yes, I'm a huge supporter of frozen, you know, fruits and vegetables. We even have a garden, and to save some of our fruits and vegetables, we freeze them. And so keep in mind the good thing about those fruit, veggies and fruits when you buy them in the grocery store, they're frozen at their peak nutritional state. And so it's way healthier than, canned fruits and veggies, which are filled with also preservatives. And so just keep that in mind, right? Frozen veggies can be very, cost effective, and they're not super expensive. And you can get a ton of those different types. They have all kinds of frozen veggies, green beans, mixed vegetables, broccoli, cauliflower. What else do they have? Asparagus, Brussels sprouts. I've seen it all, right? Carrots, whatever you want, they have it at the grocery store. And if you are a mom who doesn't have a lot of time to cut up those vegetables and cook them and boil them, guess what? You can get the same effect with those frozen foods, and it's not going to be that expensive.
Right, that's right. The next tip is to buy seasonal produce. Fruits and vegetables that are in season are typically more affordable and fresher.
Yep. So maybe you might want to go and look on Google and have a seasonal chart for fruits and veggies, and just kind of get associated with that, or maybe you want to put it up somewhere in your kitchen, or just have it where you could kind of look at it before you go grocery shopping. But definitely something to look at.
Yep. And the next tip is use apps for coupons and deals. Apps like Ibotta or Ibotta. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that.
I think it's Ibotta. I don't know.
Ibotta, Fetch Rewards, or store-specific apps that offer cashback and digital coupons that can help reduce your grocery bills.
So yes, I actually got this idea from my mom. Shout out to Mom. I do have the Fetch Rewards app. If you don't have the Fetch Rewards app, you should definitely get it. But basically, it's an app where you can take pictures of your receipts from anywhere, whether it's the grocery store or gas station, wherever it is. And over time, you are gaining points and rewards, and they will accumulate, and then you could cash out those points into money, whether it's a gift card for Amazon or Starbucks or wherever you want it to be. But those constant pictures that you're saving up throughout the year, okay, turn into points, which then turn into actual money. So if you have not done that so far, or whatever, you might want to download Fetch Rewards. Pretty cool app.
I also want to put in, like, if you go to restaurants that you frequent a lot, try to get the apps for those too. I know there's certain people that I've met that don't really care for apps and downloading them. But if you get an app for any restaurants that you like Smoothie King, maybe Chick-fil-A or whatever, maybe you're in a situation where you do have to get fast food, it'll be better and will help you save money if you rack up points in those applications as well. You can get something free or some discount if you go there frequently and you utilize the app. Not all restaurants do, but a good amount of most of them pretty much do. So just keep that in mind and download those apps too. The next tip is to reduce waste. Store leftovers and plan ways to use them in future meals. This can prevent unnecessary spending on extra food.
Yeah, I definitely agree. Just when you're cooking food and you feel like maybe you're not going to use this part of the chicken or whatever, you can save it for maybe like the leftover pieces for like a soup or whatever. So just keeping that in mind, try to reduce as much waste as possible. And if you have leftover pieces of veggies or things like that, maybe you might want to save them for a soup, or it doesn't matter, or like a sauce or something. So try to keep that in mind. Another thing that you could do is have your meals in a certain way where you're not, if you know that, let's just say you made chicken and gravy and rice. This is an example meal. And you have leftover chicken. Maybe the next week you can also make fettuccine alfredo with some of that leftover chicken you have, right? And so that's one way that you can reduce waste. Instead of, throwing it away or whatever, now you could kind of use that for another meal.
The next tip is to avoid prepackaged snacks. Instead of buying single serving snacks, purchase in bulk and portion them out yourself.
He knows that we do this. I mean, we buy like a huge thing of trail mix. We always rotate through different types of trail mix. And what does he do? He pre-portions out that trail mix when he goes to work, and it saves us a pretty penny. Is the bigger thing of trail mix more than an individual pack? Yes. But when you think about it long term, for how long he'll have it, it's a lot less.
Okay. The next tip is to make staple foods from scratch. Foods like bread, yogurt, and even applesauce can often be made more affordably at home.
What is something that I make at home from scratch that saves us a lot of money? Smoothies. That's one. Smoothies are expensive, man. I mean, we've been to Smoothie King a couple of times because we like smoothies.
And the smoothie bowl over there is like $12 or $13.
Yeah.
So.
And I remember him saying one time, the last time we left there, this is ridiculous. From now on, we're just eating your smoothies. Because, I mean, I can make a really good smoothie,
Yeah,
because to me, I've been a barista before. So, I can make a pretty good mean smoothie, and I'm not gonna lie. I mean, my smoothie sometimes tastes even better than Smoothie King sometimes.
And you get more too.
And you get more, and it's cheaper, and I feel like I just spend so much money for nothing. Now, if you're just out and about, maybe sometimes you are gonna want to just grab something and go. But that's where you tell yourself, like, hey, do I really need this? Or can I like make this at home? How much are those coffee runs, right? Are you someone that gets Starbucks every day? Do you know how much Starbucks is? One cup of coffee from Starbucks.
Like $8 in it.
Whatever it is, I don't know, because I never get coffee
I think it's
from
like
Starbucks.
about $8 from what I can remember when the times we go to Starbucks for whatever reason.
Buy
about $8.
Make your own coffee at home. Go invest in a good coffee maker. I'm not a huge coffee person. I'll drink no more than 1 cup a week. That's like my max, but he loves coffee, okay? And we save money because we have a coffee maker. And no, we are not going to Starbucks. Sometimes we will go to Starbucks, but it's very rare. And it's not for just regular coffee.
The next tip is to compare unit prices. The shelf label typically has the cost per ounce or pound, which helps identify the best value.
Okay.
It's really big on to that too.
Yes. So, when you go to the grocery store, guys, and you're looking at those little yellow labels, don't just always look at the huge, bold black numbers, which tell you the amount that the item is. Look and see how many cents it is per ounce, okay?
Or per pound.
Or per pound. So the reason why I'm saying this is, we'll use peanut butter as an example again. Let's just say you have a small thing of peanut butter, that regular size that's about this big. And you're like, oh, okay, this is
probably $16.
$2, right? But, the bigger, thing of peanut butter is like, we'll just say $6, okay? And from just looking at, the price that's there, it might look like you're saving more on the smaller one. But when you really take a look at the units per ounce, right, you're not, because it's less cents per ounce for the bigger tub. And if you know that your family goes through a lot of peanut butter and that's something that you're going to buy again, it might be in your best benefit to grab the bigger thing of peanut butter. And that's the same thing for a lot of different items. Now, if you know it's something that you're probably not going to use again, then maybe you might just want to get the smaller thing. But for those regular things like peanut butter, jelly, mayo, things that
bread.
Just, bread, whatever, keep that in mind.
Yep. The final tip is to shop at local farmers markets near closing time. Farmers often discount produce near closing to avoid taking it back. Now, that's something that we should try to do, because a lot of times we've went to farmers markets, they've been kind of pricey, and we've never really bought anything from a farmers market. I don't remember, at least. We've
Yeah.
always went, and then it's like, dang, this is some
At least the
pricey
ones that
stuff.
we went to.
And so
Yeah.
I think we should try to do that. Like,
Scope
this
out
is-
some
go-
different ones.
Yeah, not even just that, but go at a closing time. Because, like they said, when it's closing time, they're trying to sell as much as they can.
Oh, go
And so-
at closing.
Yeah, and they'll reduce the price, so because they're trying to sell as much as they can. They don't want to keep the stuff. Then it gets bad over time. So they're like, oh, it's closing time, so because I have this left over, let me try and reduce the price so I can get rid of it, basically.
See, you learn new stuff every day. Never thought of that, but we'll try it.
So thank you guys for listening. We pray that y'all use these tips to your benefit. And if y'all can, just leave a comment at the bottom of the video saying what video ideas you want us to make a video on. Like, comment, and subscribe. And we pray that y'all have a joyful weekend. We'll see you on the next episode of Coals of Fire. Have a good one. Bye.
Bye.